Hello and thank you, because I know you've joined us once again for part 2 of this great book, which is Better Than Before by Gretchen Rubin. If you've not listened to part 1, I urge you to go back and listen to part 1, maybe after you are through with part 2, or you can pause part 2 and go start part 1, then come back and connect the two so that you have a big picture together. So in part 2, I want to give you some takeaways, comparison of this book to others, biggest takeaway lessons, and how we can apply the lessons that we learn, and also give you some quick book recommendations that you can go to read after reading this one. So what are some of the key takeaways or conclusions from this book that we can have? I have quite a number of them for you, and remember, these takeaways come from the key ideas that I gave you. So which are these key takeaways? Number 1, habits, not willpower, rule our lives. Habits, not willpower, rule our lives. We said one of the ideas that Rubin presents is that habits are invisible architectures of our lives. Your life, that the life that you have today and the life that you will have tomorrow will be a direct reflection. It will be a mirror of your habits. That's a takeaway that I've said, that habits, not your willpower, will always rule your life and create the future. So we are creatures of habit, and small repeated choices have a far greater impact than bursts of willpower. Understanding your habit instinct is crucial for lasting change. So get that very, very deeply. Habits, not your willpower, not what you want to do. I know you want to do great things in life. I know you want to achieve that massive project that you've been working on in your head. I know you want to achieve it, but I'm telling you, it is not about your willpower. You have the will, but what hinders you from achieving it, they are your habits. So habits are invisible architects of our lives. And here we've said that habits, not your willpower, will rule your life. So we are creatures of habit, and small repeated choices have a far greater impact than bursts and greater willpower that we might have. Understanding your instinct is crucial for a lasting change. Please get that point very clearly. Number 2, another takeaway is that you should know your tendency, because we each have a natural approach to habits. I gave you 4 tendencies that Rubin presents in all her work. We have the upholders, the obligers, questioners, and the rebels. Those are the 4 tendencies, and you have to know them. If you want to change your habits, you must know your tendency. Who are upholders? Upholders thrive on routine. These are people who thrive on routine. They must have a routine for them to thrive. Obligers need external accountability. Without an accountability partner or an external accountability, such people will not build the habits that they want. Questioners will analyze everything and anything before they commit themselves to the habit. Rebels will resist all expectations. Therefore, aligning your strategies with either of these 4 tendencies is your key to success in habit formation. Number 3, another takeaway is that self-awareness is power. Self-awareness is power. You should always be aware of yourself. You should always know and reflect on your strengths, your weaknesses, and motivations. Because those 3, your strengths, your weaknesses, and your motivations, will always lay the foundation for building a habit system that works for you. One of the sections in the book is about the pillars of habit. You must know and have those pillars for your habit system to work. Same case applies here. You should be aware of yourself. Self-awareness is power. You should know about your weaknesses, your strengths, and the motivations that you know you have. You are the only person who knows yourself. So those three will lay a foundation for building a habit system that works for you. Always embrace your tendency and do not try to fit into someone else's mold. You are unique. You are an original. So do not try to fit into someone else's mold. Number 3, another takeaway. Start with the basics. Start with the basics. Foundation habits like sleep, nutrition, movement, and downtime are the bedrock of tracking or forgetting those bigger goals that you want. Prioritize these habits first, as they will always fuel your energy, focus, and overall well-being. So baby steps are still steps. I like saying that. So start with the basics. I know there are great habits that you want to have. There are old habits that you want to drop. But why don't you start with the basics? They lay the foundation. They are the bedrocks for tackling even bigger ones. We've talked of sleep, your routine of sleep, your nutrition, movement, exercising here and there, and your downtime. How do you handle those? Those are bedrocks. They test if you can handle even bigger habits that you want to form. Start with the habits. Number 5, you should always monitor and track your habits. Awareness, as we've said, was the first step to habit change. Then, after knowing yourself and having a habit system, as Gretchen teaches you in the book, you should use journals, calendars, or apps to track your habits and identify patterns. Seeing your progress or lack of can be a powerful motivator. Another takeaway, number 6, you should schedule strategically. Design your routine to support your desired habits. Habit stacking simply means linking new habits to existing ones. So habit stacking and time boxing. Time boxing, what does it mean? Dedicating specific times for specific tasks. So if you have habit stacking and time boxing, those two strategies are powerful scheduling techniques. So schedule strategically the habits that you want, and I've given you 2, and Gretchen explains more about these 2 techniques in the book. Number 7, find your accountability sweet spot. So whether it is a supportive partner, a dedicated group, or a public declaration, always choose an accountability strategy that will align with your tendency and preference. External pressure can be a game changer, and I know you know this and you bear me witness that external pressure can be a game changer. When your boss tells you that this thing must be done before tomorrow, you'll do it. It becomes a game changer. Well, number 8, willpower is a myth. It's another takeaway. Willpower is simply a myth. And that's the first takeaway that we started by saying that your habits, not your willpower, will always rule your life. So willpower is a myth. Relying on your willpower alone will lead to burnout, because you'll never achieve anything with your willpower. I know you want to achieve great things. That one I know. But it is the habits that you have, the habits that you've built over time, the habits that have you've come to be doing, and that is without your conscience. Such things are the ones that are ruling your life. Those are the things that are making you not achieve or achieve what you've planned for in your mind. So, willpower is simply a myth. You have willpower. You want to do anything. But if you rely on your willpower, you'll only lead to burnout. You should build systems and routines that make desired habits inevitable, not something you have to force yourself to do every day. Right? Then number 9, another takeaway is that habits are fluid. Life is dynamic. Habits are fluid. Life is dynamic. Different life stages and situations call for adjustments. Embrace the habit continuum and move between minimalists, that is doing the bare minimum, and an embracer, fully committed as needed. Number 10, and that is that you should always master your inner critic, because self-doubt and negativity can derail your progress. You should therefore learn to develop strategies to silence your inner critic, celebrate small wins, and focus on long-term vision. Number 11, habits are a journey, not a destination. We said that in the key ideas presented. We said that the habits that you want to change to or from will not come in one day. They'll take time. It's a marathon, not a sprint. So along the way, you'll have setbacks, you'll have challenges, you'll fail. But do you give up? No. Setbacks are inevitable in your habit formation, but they do not have to define you. Learn from them, adjust your approach, and keep moving forward. Ensure that you always celebrate small victories and enjoy the process of becoming the best version of yourself. The last key takeaway is that habits and happiness are connected. Positive habits contribute to a greater well-being, purpose, and fulfillment. Therefore, investing in yourself through habit change is an investment in a happier and more fulfilling life. So those are 12 great key takeaways and conclusions that you can take from the book. Please go back, rewind, and listen to them. They will speak to you. They'll speak direct to your life and to your soul. Then, Gretchen explains everything that I've said in part 1 and part 2 in much greater and deeper detail. Please, this book, if you are such kind of a person who wants to change their life, such kind of a person who wants to stop relying on their will to have a life that they want, if now this habit formation and habit concept, let me call it a concept, resonates with you, this book is a must read. Better Than Before by Gretchen Rubin. You can have your book, your hard copy book from your favorite store, or you can even buy it from Amazon using the affiliate link that we have. Well, can this book be compared to other books? And of course, yes. So I want to give you a quick comparison of Better Than Before to other books on the same subject, habit formation. There are so many books that focus on habit formation, but of course, each book will always be different from another. One of the books that comes into your mind, and I know maybe probably you've read it, is The Atomic Habits by James Clear. So we also have a summary of that book, both as a write-up and also in audio form. You can have a look at it. So that is one of the books. So this book, that is a Gretchen's Better Than Before book, can be compared to other books on the subject of habit change. Some popular ones include Atomic Habits by James Clear, The Power of Habits by Charles Duhigg, Tiny Habits by B.J. Fogg, and Willpower Instinct by Kelly McGonigal. I hope the pronunciation is okay. So I've given you 4 standout books. There are so many books on habit formation, but the standard ones for the purposes of this summary are: number 1, Atomic Habits by James, Power of Habit by Charles, Tiny Habits by B.J. Fogg, and The Willpower Instinct by Kelly. Well, all these books offer valuable insights and advice on how to change your habits. However, there are some key differences. Remember, I've said that this book cannot be the same, as long as it's focusing on habit formation, cannot be the same as Atomic Habits by James Clear, right? So there are some differences here and there. Number 1, the focus of this book. Better Than Before is more focused on understanding your individual motivation and using that information to develop personalized strategies for change. Other books are more general in the approach. Number 2, the scope. Better Than Before covers a wide range of topics, including happiness, work, health, home, and relationships. Other books are more focused on specific areas such as personal productivity, that is Atomic Habits, or health, that is Tiny Habits. Then another difference is about the style. Better Than Before is written in clear and engaging style with plenty of real-world examples and practical tips. Other books are also well written, but they are more academic or in a technical tone. So overall, this book, Better Than Before, is a great choice for anyone who wants to understand their own motivations and develop personalized strategies for habit change. It is also good for anyone who is looking for a book that covers a wide range of topics. So we said that the focus of Better Than Before is individual motivations, and the scope is happiness, work, health, home, and relationships. The style is clear and engaging. The Power of Habit focuses on habit loops, and the scope is personal productivity and business. It is informative and engaging also. Atomic Habits focuses on habit formation for personal productivity. Tiny Habits focuses on the power of tiny habits, but focusing on health. The Willpower Instinct focuses on your willpower, but for personal productivity and health. So look at those books. They all deal with this one topic of habit formation, but their scope is somehow different and their focus. So now from this that insight, I know you have your own next book after this one. Of course, I know you'll begin with the Better Than Before, then go to another book of your choice out of the 4 books that I've given you. And also by the end of this summer, I'll also give you some other book recommendations for you. So if you want to know if this book is for you, I began with that in part 1. I gave you the target audience who this book will appeal to, but I know this book is for you. This book is for everyone. The book has also been received well, with mixed reactions, both positive and negative. It has also been it has also received awards here and there, and you'll have to go to our write-up and see more about that. Because of the interest of time, I will not go about the reception and critical response and target audience. But for the target audience, I've said that I talked about it. I started with it in part 1 of this summary, so you can check on that. Well, why don't I give you my one big main takeaway from this book? One big main takeaway from the book, and as I also try to summarize it. So when I talk of one big main takeaway, the biggest takeaway from this book is, what main lesson? What can I go home with? Just one thing that I can go home with from this book. So which is this one thing that you can pick from this book, and you can say that this book is all about this one thing? So that is what I mean when I talk of the biggest takeaway. So the biggest takeaway from Better Than Before is a paradigm shift. That is, understanding your natural tendency and building a habit system that aligns with those tendencies, not against them, is the key to lasting change and happiness. That is simply about this book. If somebody asks you, please give me in one sentence, what is this book all about? I want to decide if I should go for this book, if I should waste my time, my resources reading this book. Please give me just one line in one sentence. Tell me all about this book. Simply tell them, this book is a paradigm shift of understanding your natural tendency and building a habit system that aligns with your tendencies, not against them. And that is the key to lasting change and happiness. That is all about that book. So instead of fighting your inherent strengths and weaknesses, the book empowers you to leverage your tendency, and the tendencies that we talked about are the upholder, obliger, questioner, and a rebel, to create a personalized approach to habit formation. This self-awareness, knowing your tendency, will help you, number 1, choose the right strategy, because upholders might thrive on rigid routines, while rebels may need flexibility and spontaneity. One size does not fit all. So knowing your tendency will help you choose the right strategy. Number 2, it will help you avoid common pitfalls. Questioners might get stuck over-analyzing, while obligers might struggle with self-motivation. Knowing your tendency helps you to anticipate and overcome these challenges. And then number 3, it will help you to celebrate your unique strengths. Upholders' natural discipline can be channeled. Obligers' accountability can be harnessed. Questioners' thoughtful approach can be optimized, and rebels' aversion to rules can be redirected towards self-driven goals. Remember that habits are not about restrictions or control, but about creating a life that feels natural and effortless. So by aligning your systems with your tendencies, you will find yourself moving towards your goals with less resistance and more joy. So this book is not about becoming someone you are not. It is about becoming the best version of yourself. Becoming the best version of yourself, starting with the way you build habits. So it is a journey of self-discovery, experimentation, and ultimately a happier and more fulfilling life lived on your own terms. That's simply all about this book in one sentence, and I've tried to explain just a bit. So now you know better than anyone maybe who has read the book. I've helped you get the insights of the book in one single sentence, and I know you appreciate that. Is this good? Are these summaries good? Let us know in the comment section. Well, as I try to wind up also, why don't I give you ways and practical strategies and examples that you can apply the lessons that now we learn from this book in real life. Remember, pick this thing. Pick this one thing from the book, that there are 4 tendencies. Where do you fall into? After knowing that tendency and understanding what each tendency means, which system will you create to change or to build the habits that you want? Then from there, of course, you track, you monitor, accountability here and there. Simple about this book. Gretchen explains in detail. So what are some of the practical ways and strategies that you can apply the lessons that we learn? How do you identify your tendency? For example, upholders. If you are an upholder, remember an upholder, we said that these are people who will always thrive in routines. So if you are an upholder, you've identified your tendency. Of course, Rubin will help you understand your tendency. So if you're an upholder, you should schedule your workouts and meditation in your calendar. You should do that physically. You should use your habit trackers to visualize progress and reward yourself for sticking to your routine. So as an upholder, you must have physical routines for you. You must have those, you must underline and circle in your calendars, this day, this is what I'll do. You must have that. You must have habit trackers, and you should always visualize your progress. As an obliger, obligers are these who need accountabilities. They need an accountability partner for them to function well. They want to change an habit, for example, they must have an external accountability. So if you are an obliger, what can you do? Join a fitness class. Those are specific examples. Join a fitness class and find an accountability partner for your writing goals. Set deadlines with friends or colleagues to ensure that you meet them. It's a perfect way for an obliger to be on toes. If you're a questioner, you must analyze everything, and so on. So those are questioners. Research different productivity methods before committing to one. Analyze your data from habit trackers to identify what works best for you. It's a questioner. What about a rebel? If you find yourself that you are a rebel, what can you do? Set your own terms for habits. Remember, rebels are these people who will resist the rules. They will always want to live their own terms. So set your own terms for your habits. Instead of daily gym sessions, try 3 intensive workouts per week. You don't want to go and follow their routines and their rules. Just create yours. Try 3 intensive workouts per week. Form your own rules. Prioritize spontaneity over rigid routines. Those are specific and practical strategies and ways that you can work out your habits and anything that you want to change. Remember, in part 1 we talked of one of the chapters is that Gretchen presents 7 key areas in life where everybody will always want to have their habits changed. You'll have to listen to part 1 and get the 7 areas. Number 2, how can you stack your habits? Habit stacking. So before checking your phone in the morning, do 10 push-ups. See that? It's It's a practical thing that you can do. So before checking your phone in the morning, why don't you start by doing 10 push-ups? While brushing your teeth, why don't you listen to a short educational podcast for 5 minutes? After finishing your evening meal, why don't you practice 5 minutes of mindfulness and meditation? Practical strategies. Time boxing. What can you do practically for time boxing? Block out 30 minutes in your calendar for uninterrupted writing. Set a timer for 25 minutes of focused work, followed by a 5-minute break. Dedicate an hour before bed for reading and winding down with minimal distractions. How can you overcome the inner critic? Write down negative self-talk and challenge it with positive affirmations. Practice self-compassion and forgive yourself for occasional setbacks because they will always be there. Celebrate small wins and acknowledge your progress, no matter how small. Award yourself. Visualize your future self living the life you desire with your desired habits. 4 practical things that you can do to silence that inner critic, that negative self-talk. Remember that you should always start small and build gradually. Never try to change everything at once. It will never work. Number 2, experiment and find what works for you. There's no one size that fits all. Be patient. Number 3, be patient and kind to yourself. Change takes time and effort. Number 4, enjoy the journey. It should be enjoyable. Focus on progress you are making and the positive impact it is having on your life. Well, so by incorporating these strategies and many more, because this one was just an eye-opener to help you understand maybe what we mean by time stacking, time boxing, what can I do to this. I know they've been of help to you. So by incorporating these strategies, one can become more better every day by transforming your daily routines into a springboard for happier and fulfilling life. Well, why don't I end by giving you a recommendation of books that you can read that will continue to build your life. So I have quite a number of them. I'll go very fast because of the interest of time. So for habit enthusiasts, so if you want to change your habits, of course I gave you 4 in the comparison. So The Power of Habit, Atomic Habits by James Clear, Tiny Habits by BJ Fogg. We have The Habit Factor by Martin Meadows, The Happiness Project, still by Gretchen Rubin. So those are great books, 5 books that you can read on habit formation. If you want to manage your time, for time management devotees, which books can you have? Deep Work by Cal Newport, 168 Hours by Laura Vanderkam. That's number 2. Number 3, Make Time by Jake Knapp and John. Number 4, The Productivity Project by Chris. Number 5, Essentialism by Greg. So that is for those who are interested in time management. I've given you 5 books: Deep Work, 168 Hours, Make Time, The Productivity Project, and Essentialism. For mindset and motivation seekers, I have several books for you also. Mindset by Carol, Grit by Angela, Learned Optimism by Martin, The Happiness Hypothesis by Jonathan, You Are a Badass by Jen. So I've given you also 5 books: The Mindset by Carol, Grit by Angela, Learned Optimism, Happiness Hypothesis, and You Are a Badass. So bonus picks for you: Zero Waste Home by B. Johnson, which combines practical tips for reducing waste with inspiring stories of living a more sustainable life. Loving My Actual Life by Alexandra. It's another book. I'm giving you bonus picks. The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle, who teaches mindfulness practices for living in the present moment and reducing stress and anxiety. Remember, the best book recommendations are tailored to your specific interest and goals. Therefore, consider what you enjoy most about Better Than Before and explore titles that dive deeper into those areas or other complementary perspectives. So for part 2 and for summary of Better Than Before, that's it all that you have. And thank you for your time. I know you could have spent this time in another place. So thank you for staying with us. Continue reading, evolving, and becoming better each day. Until next time for another summary, Bye bye for now, and may God bless you.